Hey guys, ProfessorSnipe here, and welcome back to the series where we compare two weapons in Battlefield Play for Free. Today is the Desert Eagle 50 versus the Mp412 Rex pistol. So, in today's episode, you can see that over here in this table, whatever's in green is the positives for the Desert Eagle and negatives, and in the other side you can take a look at the negatives and positives for the Mp412 Rex. You can take a look that the Deagle has a lot of good points like the reload time, ammunition per mag, and however you can see that the recoil, both horizontal and vertical, is more stable on the Mp412 Rex's side. Now if you're going for headshots and body shots, the Deagle, both Deagle and Rex have a one-shot headshot at short range, two-shot headshot at medium range. However, at long range, the Deagle has a two-shot headshot advantage, whilst the Rex has a three-shot headshot advantage. And you can take a look at the body shot advantages that the Rex has at close range, which is by 1 at 2. And yeah, now if you wanna compare the two reload times, take a look that the Deagle has a reload time of 2.1 seconds, and the Rex has a reload time of 3.2, and I'll play it again one more time just so you can see it in real-time comparison. The Deagle has 2.1 seconds and the Rex has 3.2. Now to provide some examples for the Desert Eagle and the Rex, you will be watching them on screen right now as I speak, and I will be going through each individual aspect of both guns. Now right off the top you can see that the Deagle has the reload time, the fastest reload time compared to the Mp412, and it's the winner in that category. And you can see that the reload time of 2.1 seconds is something that is very, very important for a sidearm, especially a weapon as powerful as this one, giving it the fact that you can burn through your ammunition, which is not as much as the other pistols like the P226 or the M1911. So with that fast reload time, it's really good to have that as an advantage because you can quickly shift from one magazine to the other and keep loading your bullets onto the enemy. Also, the Desert Eagle does have more ammunition per mag, just one bullet extra, but that extra bullet can also be what differences the life and death of an enemy and if he will survive. Also, the Desert Eagle does have 63 bullets, and the Mp412 does have only 60 bullets, so that's only 3 bullets of differences. But there's not a major difference over there. Like I said, also with the ammo per mag, it just might be the difference between life and death for the enemy. However, when you go to rounds per minute and the rate of fire, the Desert Eagle does have around 240 rounds per minute, while the Mp412 Rex has 200 rounds per minute, meaning that the Desert Eagle can fire faster. Now, when you have more bullets and you can fire faster and you have a faster reload time, it sounds like a really good gun. So this is why these 3 points may seem like something that is already makes the Desert Eagle one of the winners in the overall categories, but that's not the. Those are really important points, but those aren't the only ones. If you shift something to like horizontal recoil or vertical recoil, you'll see that the Mp412 Rex, or just the Rex, I'll call it the Rex from now on, has the advantage. It has less horizontal recoil and less vertical recoil. Both of them are less than the Deagle, meaning that you have more control for that particular gun. And also, if you take a look at the damage, at short range, the Desert Eagle falls to the Mp412. The Rex fires more damage and hits stronger than the Desert Eagle. But if you compare this at medium to long range, the Desert Eagle does win. So you have to keep that in mind. Which one do you prefer, having better damage at medium to long range or short range? Keep in mind that this is a sidearm, so at this point that might shift your opinion towards the Mp412 Rex being the better gun. But that's what you have to think about, which is better gun in what particular scenario and what is the gunner's role. In this particular episode, this is a sidearm, so you should bear in mind that this isn't your primary weapon and you shouldn't be engaging enemies at long range with this gun. So this is why it feels like the Mp412 Rex actually exceeds at the Desert Eagle, because it has better damage and more control. And another point that is two other points that are very important for these two sidearms is that the pullout time. For the Desert Eagle, like I mentioned in my Desert Eagle gun review, you need to cock the gun and do some sort of animation that takes 0.8 seconds before you actually shoot the gun, which is, compared to the Rex, which is only 0.2, and you don't need to do an animation, you can just keep shooting, and that small animation is the time you need to pull out the gun from your holster. That is also a big important factor, because also for that, those are what those 2 points are what actually bring out the particular class and role you should be playing with those 2 guns. And also to mention that the Rex is unlocked at level 14 while the Deagle is unlocked at level 24. So for you newcomers that are still under level 10, or are ranking up, you want to take a look at what gun you should purchase or maybe unlock. You'll realize that you'll unlock the Rex before the Deagle, and the Deagle takes a lot of time to unlock due to that high level. Now, for which class would I particularly use the Desert Eagle and the Rex? For both classes, I would both definitely use them for the Recon class, because they're such powerful guns, and at close range, you're gonna need some enhanced firepower to take down your enemies. So that's something very, very important for both guns. But also they can be used on other classes. For example, the Desert Eagle could be used, in my opinion, it works very well with the Engineer class. For some reason, whenever you fall short on your ammunition for your SMG, switch out to your Desert Eagle. Just take a little break for that cock-out time and rain havoc on your enemy, because since you'll be using the Desert Eagle at short range, even though it's not the best, you can still have that fast reload time, that a lot of more ammunition and a bit more magazine, so it might feel like a small secondary submachine gun to and it'll feel good to somebody that plays the Engineer class and that is in close quarters combat. However, the Mp412 is not something you want to use for your Engineer class. It's not the greatest, because you already have an SMG, and switching out to something like that is not the best, especially that it's a slow revolver, and it'll take a bit more time to adjust to that slow feel of a gun. But if you're moving on to something like an aggressive sniper like myself, a quick scoper, using the Mp412 Rex with a fast bolt action or any bolt action works perfectly. I find myself getting a body shot on an enemy with a bolt action, and I could quickly pistol whip him with my Rex. Given the fact that it has a pullout time of 0.2 seconds, you can quickly just pistol whip him, switch to your sidearm, and use only 1 bullet out of that Rex. So if you damage somebody, let's say with an M95, and he's coming straight at you, and you pull out a quick scope on him, but you don't necessarily hit his head, you can just press the sidearm button, just keep the target on him, and then fire away, and he'll be dead with 1 bullet. So that's what's really good with the Mp412 Rex. And if you're doing the same thing with the Desert Eagle, it won't work too well, because you're gonna have to take out the gun from your holster and do the cocking animation, which won't be too good when you're at those scenarios. However, if you're using an semi-automatic sniper rifle and you're more into the types of scenarios where you're playing more passive, or you have the fast semi-autos like the SKS or the M14 or something like that, the Desert Eagle, it works well too, because you won't need to switch to your sidearm as often since you have those guns, and if you do and you're playing more passive, you have the time to switch to. Moving on to something like the Assault class, I also would recommend something like the Deagle, because with the Assault class, you won't be necessarily in the close quarter combat engagements, you'll be more into the medium to close. But with the Desert Eagle, also you'll have a bit more time to switch out. What's with the Mp412 Rex, you need to be really close at the enemy, and it's not the best thing for that, especially due to its rate of fire and its damage drop off at medium range. And for something like the Medic class, I would strictly not even suggest one of those two, because with an LMG, you know that the LMG you're not too close to the enemy, but you're not too far away from them either. And with both those guns, they're not the greatest at medium to long range, especially if you're using a good LMG or something that's pretty good, like let's say the MG36 or the XM8 AR. With those types of guns, you're a bit playing more passive, and if you do run out of ammunition and you just want to fire away with everything you've got with all your cannons, I would suggest something else, like probably a P226 or an M1911 or an MP443, but I wouldn't recommend the Deagle nor the Mp412 Rex, because those are a bit slower guns that have more firepower, but they don't have too much ammunition to deal, especially if you're used to a lot of LMGs, and with all that capability of ammunition count, it won't be the best for you having those Desert Eagle or the Rex as a sidearm. So what would I suggest between those two? Honestly, in my opinion, I use both. Whenever I use the SKS or a semi-automatic sniper rifle, or even a VSS, Ventores, or the SVUA, I like to use the Desert Eagle because it just feels really good for me, especially that if I have a full automatic sniper rifle, I don't need to too much switch out to my pistol, but whenever I do need to, and the Deagle will always be good for me. But if I'm using a bolt action sniper rifle, I tend to use the Rex more often, because if I do get into those really close quarter engagements where I cannot knife the enemy and he's coming at me with a full automatic assault rifle or SMG or LMG, I like to pull out a quick scope on him. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the head, and I can just pull out the Rex and pistol whip him. Keep in mind that both guns have a one-shot headshot at first to second, from close to medium range, and also that is really good if you run out of ammunition and you just want to play stealthy and run behind enemies and pick them off one by one on their heads, which is a great thing to do. Which one is the victor? Like I said, it depends on your playstyle and whatever type of playstyle you want to be. If you're more passive and sometimes like to be too aggressive, I would suggest something like the Deagle, because it does have more ammunition and a faster reload time. But if you're somebody that just likes to quick scope and zoom in, take your first shot and then quickly pistol whip somebody, you can use the Rex, which is an amazing tool. And if you actually like to do that with other weapons, like let's say an assault rifle, if it ever comes down to that, you can always pistol whipping, and I would highly recommend the Rex for a pistol whipping role. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, thanks for all the support and have a great day.